In the bustling city of Lagos, David and Mary lived a modest but content life. Married for 3 years, they were expecting their first child. Mary, 6 months pregnant, believed their bond was unshakable. David, a struggling real estate agent, often returned home exhausted but promised Mary better days ahead. One evening, David came home unusually late. His demeanor was distant, his words curt. "I've been thinking about us," he started, avoiding Mary's gaze. "I'm not sure this life is for me anymore." Mary froze, her heart pounding. "What are you saying, David? I've met someone else. Her name is Evelyn. She's wealthy and she can give me a life I've always dreamed of." Mary's world crumbled. She pleaded, reminded him of their vows, their unborn child. But David's mind was made up. 2 weeks later, he packed his belongings and left, leaving Mary in a house filled with memories and pain. Rumors swirled around the neighborhood. Evelyn, a wealthy widow in her 40s, had charmed David with her affluence. Mary was left to fend for herself, her once loving husband now a stranger. As she cried herself to sleep that night, Mary whispered to her unborn child, "We'll survive this. I promise." Weeks turned into months. Mary gave birth to a healthy baby boy, whom she named Jason. Determined to build a future for her son, she started a small business selling handmade bags in the local market. Though life was tough, her resilience grew stronger every day. Meanwhile, David was living a life of luxury with Evelyn. Lavish parties, designer clothes, and expensive vacations filled his days. But beneath the surface, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Evelyn was controlling, her love conditional. One day, as Mary was setting up her stall, she spotted David across the street. He looked different, dressed sharply, yet his eyes seemed hollow. He glanced her way, but quickly looked away. Mary's heart ached, but she held her head high. Little did she know, David had started regretting his decision. The warmth and love he once had with Mary haunted him, but his pride wouldn't let him admit it yet. David's life with Evelyn was not the paradise he had imagined. The wealthy widow was demanding, often reminding him that everything he enjoyed came from her generosity. She dictated his every move, even choosing his friends and business associates. The man who once dreamt of freedom now felt like a prisoner in a golden cage. One evening, during a heated argument, Evelyn lashed out. "You think I didn't know you only came for my money? Don't ever think you can walk out of here and survive without me." Her words stung, but David said nothing. Across town, Mary's life was gaining momentum. Her handmade bags were becoming popular, and her business was expanding. Jason, now a bubbly toddler, was her greatest source of joy. Despite her struggles, Mary was content, finding peace in the little victories each day. One day, fate intervened. Mary's business caught the attention of a local entrepreneur, Peter, who offered to invest and help her scale up. Hesitant at first, Mary eventually accepted. Peter's kindness and encouragement brought light back into her life, though she remained cautious. Meanwhile, David's regrets deepened. He often thought about Mary and their son, wondering what might have been. But Evelyn kept him on a tight leash, ensuring he stayed in her grasp. One afternoon, while visiting a high-end store with Evelyn, David overheard 2 women discussing a rising entrepreneur making waves in the local market. "Her name is Mary," one said. David's chest tightened. Could it be his Mary? His curiosity became unbearable. That evening, as Evelyn hosted yet another lavish party, David slipped away unnoticed. He needed to see Mary, to face the woman he had abandoned. David arrived at the market where Mary's business had blossomed. From afar, he saw her. She was talking to customers, her smile radiant, her confidence unshaken. A pang of guilt and longing hit him like a tidal wave. "Mary," he called softly, approaching her stall. She turned, her smile fading as her eyes met his. For a moment, they stood in silence, the weight of their shared history hanging between them. "What are you doing here, David?" Mary finally asked, her tone cold, yet composed. I wanted to see you," he stammered. "I've made a mistake, Mary. Leaving you was the worst decision of my life." Mary's eyes filled with tears, but not of longing. They were tears of anger, of hurt. "You think you can just walk back into my life? After abandoning me, when I needed you most? After leaving our son without a father's? I was a fool, Mary. Evelyn's money, it means nothing to me anymore. I want to make things right," David pleaded. Mary shook her head, her voice trembling. "It's too late, David. I've built a life for myself and Jason without you. I don't need you anymore." David's shoulders slumped, defeated. As he turned to leave, Peter appeared, carrying a box of supplies for Mary's stall. He gave David a wary look before greeting Mary warmly. David realized then that Mary had moved on, that she no longer needed him to fill the void he had created. Evelyn discovered David's secret visit to Mary. Furious, she confronted him, accusing him of betrayal. In a fit of rage, she threw him out of her mansion, leaving him homeless and penniless. David, once surrounded by wealth and comfort, now found himself on the streets, grappling with the consequences of his choices. Mary, on the other hand, thrived. With Peter's support, her business expanded into an online brand, reaching customers across Nigeria. Jason grew up surrounded by love and stability, with Peter stepping into a fatherly role. One evening, as Mary closed her shop, she spotted a disheveled figure sitting by the roadside. It was David, looking broken and defeated. For a moment, she felt a flicker of sympathy, but quickly reminded herself of the pain he had caused. "Mary," he whispered as she passed, his voice barely audible. But she didn't stop. Her chapter with David had ended, and she was focused on her future. David learned a bitter lesson. Wealth and luxury could never replace true love and family. But by the time he realized it, the life he once had was gone forever. Life is a series of choices, and every choice we make shapes the direction of our journey. David's story is a cautionary tale about the consequences of trading loyalty and love for fleeting material gains. In his pursuit of wealth, he abandoned the very foundation of his happiness, his family. But as David learned, what glitters isn't always gold. For Mary, her resilience and determination are a reminder that even in our darkest moments, we have the power to rebuild and rise above our circumstances. When David left her, she could have chosen bitterness and despair, but instead, she chose hope. She poured her energy into creating a better life for herself and her son, proving that strength often comes from the challenges we face. This story also highlights the importance of appreciating what we have. Many times, we take love and relationships for granted, thinking we can replace them with something better. But true wealth lies in the bonds we share with those who stand by us in both good times and bad. Evelyn's role shows that controlling others through money or power never leads to true happiness. While she may have had wealth, her insecurities and need for control pushed her into a relationship devoid of genuine love. Her actions, too, left her empty in the end. As viewers, this story encourages us to reflect on our own lives. Are we valuing the things that truly matter, love, family, and integrity? Or are we chasing illusions of success at the expense of what makes life meaningful? In the end, David's downfall was not just about his choices, but about the values he prioritized. Mary's triumph was not just about her success, but about her unwavering spirit and belief in herself. Remember, life rewards those who stay true to their hearts and principles. No matter how tempting shortcuts may seem, nothing replaces the joy and fulfillment of earning success through hard work, love, and authenticity. Let David's regret be a lesson, and Mary's strength and inspiration. Thank you for watching. Kindly like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.